Is your partner toxic or is it you? This is an interesting conversation, and I'm going to give you the 3 steps that you need to answer to be able to answer that question. Whether you keep attracting toxic partners, or maybe it's you, maybe it's both. This will answer that question for you. So please take notes, pay attention, answer the questions I'm going to be asking you so you can actually determine whether you're attracting the wrong partners, whether it's them or whether it's you, and there's something for you to work on. Those 3 steps and answers or questions will give you the clarity that you're looking for. So with that being said, I'm going to rock and roll straight into this podcast. If you could do me a favor, just literally like the video and subscribe and leave your thoughts down below. It just helps share the video around, lets me help more people. Thank you so much. Let's begin. So first and foremost, I'm going to start doing this more with my content. I'm going to start defining terms because a lot of people use different words to describe the same different things, right? Or the same word, different interpretations or meaning to what the word is. So I'm going to start with toxic. What is toxic? I was like Googling ChatGPT. There's all these different definitions for the word. So I sat down and I was thinking, okay, what is toxic? I was using this thought pattern. If you had a petri dish and that, let's call that the environment. If you put some bacteria or an organism into the petri dish, into that environment, a toxic environment would kill the organism or the bacteria. It wouldn't be able to grow. So it doesn't allow the organism to grow and expand and move towards its desired outcome. But if you were to put a different organism or different bacteria into the exact same environment, it would grow. It could expand. So for me, when I hear the word toxic now, the way I view it is the environment or the individual organism are not working together. They are not working together towards the same desired outcome. So the reason I'm sharing that is people say, this person's toxic, this person's toxic, this person is toxic. And they'll say all of these reasons like they manipulate me, they control me, they do this, they do this, they do this. It's like, fair enough. But a lot of the time, that's actually a projection of your trauma. And if you've watched any of my other content around triggers and trauma and how you attract your unhealed trauma into your life, especially your relationships, you'll understand that until you heal your own stuff, you'll keep repeating the same patterns. So I just wanted to define that out of the gates. So the way I'm now viewing the word toxic is the environment or the organism are not aligned with each other. Because if you were to put a different organism in the exact same environment, that organism would grow. I'll use mushrooms as an example. I think I got a mushroom on my table here. So the fungus. So say you've got some fruit or some meat or some form of food. If it gets put into like a quote unhealthy, toxic environment, that would decay and break down. But that's a great environment for the mushroom and the fungi to grow. So is it the bad environment? It depends on the organism. It depends on the purpose of being in that environment. So I wanted to define that out of the gates. Now, let's move on. Here's the 3 steps that you need to understand for you to have a healthy relationship, and it will help you discern and decide, is this a toxic relationship or environment or setup for both of you together? Here's the first step. Question number 1, step number 1. Does both partners, you and your partner, take responsibility of your own triggers, trauma, insecurities, the technical term, inner shit? Do both partners take ownership of your stuff, your trauma, your limitations, your insecurities, your fears, all of those things? Because your relationships are one of, if not the closest mirror to you. If you watch any of my other content, nothing triggers you, it reveals what's inside of you. When you get triggered, it's reflecting unhealed trauma or limitations, conditioning that you have not addressed yet. Outside of real fight or flight, we have survival instincts where you will go into natural fight or flight when you are in that position. I like the quote, if it's not life-threatening, it's just ego-threatening. So if you're in real survival and you're in danger, you're naturally going to go into survival instincts. You're naturally going to get, quote, triggered. So outside of real fight or flight, when you get triggered, it's you. That's a big pill to swallow for a lot of people. They say, no, it's because of this, it's because of this, because of this. Go do my other content where I take you through trauma, and I do the trigger hit list where you actually find your projections and wounds from childhood, and you'll start to see that you attract it into your life until you heal through it. So the reason this step is so important and why it's number 1 is you can't help someone who doesn't have the awareness or the want to help themselves. So there's two levels to this. Level one is unconscious. You can't be held accountable to something you're not aware of. So if say you're dating someone, it might be you, but you're listening to this, so you've got at least a level of awareness because you're listening to this right now. But say you're with someone who's never done self-development before. They've never done inner healing work. They've never done therapy. They've never worked on themselves. And they don't understand, or they're not aware that triggers are them. They don't get it. They don't understand. So when they get triggered, they'll naturally blame the external circumstances. That's very human of the person. But it's not the case. It's not the truth. But they're doing the best with what they have. You can't be held accountable to something you're not aware of. So that's the first level. Second level is you're aware of it. So it's like with great power comes great responsibility, right? So once you've got awareness that nothing triggers you, it reveals what's inside of you, then it's time to take ownership. And some people aren't ready to do that. They don't have the courage for it. They're not ready. They're just not prepared to do it, and that's okay. But without that first step, if you don't both take ownership, you're just going to continue to, quote, trauma bond or trigger or project each other's unhealed stuff onto each other, and you repeat the same fights, the same arguments, the same stuff over and over and over and over again until it just implodes. And if you've been there before, you know what the hell I'm talking about. It's not ideal, not fun. So that's the first step you're going to take. Now, if you're listening to this, you've now got awareness. When you get triggered, it's you. It's not your partner. It's not life. It's you outside of fight or flight. So if you're in fight or flight, fair enough. If you're not in actual danger, when you're triggered, it's you. Take ownership. It will be a belief or it will be trauma. Go watch my other content. I'll teach you how to find it. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because that's a big rabbit hole for this conversation. That's the first step. Now, just a side tangent. Some people say, how do I get my partner to understand this? Just send them this video. I'll do it for you. And if you're the partner watching this, nice to meet you. Thank you for watching. Just send it to them. I'll do the work for you. That's all good. You got to get on the same page. So number one, both partners have done enough work where you take ownership and responsibility. That's the first step. Step number two, are you both clear and aligned with the vision of your relationship? Some people, most people, I wouldn't say, haven't studied enough people. Based on the clients I've worked with, majority of people don't have clarity of what they actually want for their relationship or their life, full stop. They don't know what they want. So how is that fair on your partner or each other? If you're not clear on what you want, and then you're trying to help your partner do the things that you want unconsciously, but you haven't told them what it is. So are you guys aligned with the vision for your relationship? And I measure non-negotiables as in you would leave this person and not be with this person if you weren't aligned. And you have to have that really brutal, honest conversation with yourself and with your partner about it. Non-negotiables equal you would not be with this person unless they had the thing or they were aligned with the thing. Some common ones that I've seen. Children. Do you want children? Say someone's got their heart set of having kids and this other partner never wanted to hate kids. They hated kids. They never wanted to have kids. Can you see how they're lacking alignment? And then you could say, oh, my partner's toxic because they don't want to this. They just want different things. Not right, not wrong. So kids is one. Spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs is huge. Like I had a friend that I slept with years ago, before I'm now with my wife, before wife, and she was big into religion, like huge into religion. And she was saying that she could not be with someone who did not share her religious beliefs. Well, I didn't, and we're not together, and that's okay because we just weren't aligned. Doesn't mean she's a bad person. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. We were just not aligned with each other. So spiritual, religious beliefs are quite common. Health goals, like for me, that's a non-negotiable for me. I couldn't be with someone who doesn't fundamentally look after their health. I joke with my wife, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but I couldn't be with someone who just doesn't fundamentally look after their health. Self-growth was one for me. Now, I'll just share a story with this. So when I met my now wife, coming up 6 years now. Yeah, about 6 years actually, very, very close to the date. And when I met her, it was just friends with benefits. We were sleeping together, connecting, having a good time. But I was very close-hearted. I hadn't done a lot of the deep healing work. I was doing like Tony Robbins. I was doing seminars and masterminds and podcasts and books and stuff like that. But I hadn't done the real deep inner healing work, but I was starting to get into it. And I was a bit close-hearted. I was like very much like, I need to build business, make money, set myself up. I haven't got time for this lovey-dovey stuff. That's not me. Anyways, we kept sleeping together, hanging out with each other, connecting with each other. And you kind of get to that point, like, what's going on? What are we? And I told Georgia back then, like, I don't want anything. I'm not ready for relationships. That's not me. A very ego, close-hearted answer. And then eventually, I started to open up to it. I started to see she was helping me be happier, more fulfilled. I was doing better in business because she was supporting me and helping me. And I just remember this conversation where I saw all the alignments with what she wanted and what I wanted, because I was doing vision and what I wanted, all those things. And I wanted kids around sort of the age I am now. We're actually getting ready for our first baby in March next year. And she wanted the same thing around the same time. She was into health. She was into training. She was looking after her health. She was very feminine. I love the feminine. So I'm attracted to a feminine core person. We all have both energies, but I was more attracted to the feminine. And like all the boxes were ticked. The sex was amazing. The intimacy was amazing. The connection was amazing. But there was this massive red flag of a non-negotiable. Self-growth. She'd never done it before. And a non-negotiable for me, in my relationship, you don't have to have the same, but a non-negotiable for me is to have someone who works on themselves. Because it's a belief of mine that's been true so far. If one partner grows, heals, and evolves, and one doesn't, it creates a huge disconnection between each other. And that creates other fights and arguments and blah, 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 blah. So I just had a vulnerable, open conversation with Georgia. I said, Georgia, like, I've really enjoyed our connection and what we're doing, and I see potential with you. I see a potential future with you. My biggest concern is that you don't do self-development, and I want to be with someone who does self-development and grows and heals and works on themselves. Is that something you're wanting and you're willing to do? I don't want to force you to do it. I'm not going to make you do something you don't want to do. Is that something you're wanting to do? And she said yes. If she literally said no to that question 6 years ago, I wouldn't be with her today. I wouldn't be married with her. I wouldn't be having kids with her. I said, this is what I'm wanting. This is the vision of my relationship. Are you wanting the same thing? Again, don't turn someone into someone they don't want to become. We had that conversation. She said, yes, that's awesome. I've never done it before. Where would you start? I've never been exposed to it before. We literally watched Tony Robbins' I Am Not Your Guru that night. So that's where we started. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's a great documentary. And then since then, she's done NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Me and her did our breathwork certification together last year. She's done quantum healing. She's now a sound healer. We run events on the Gold Coast. Come on the Gold Coast if you want to come to an event. And she does sound bowls and sound healings at our events. She now gets paid to go to venues to do sound healings. It's so cool. And she does a lot of other stuff around parenting, around all these other things that she works on. But there was a non-negotiable that I saw, and I just spoke into it. If she literally said no, I wouldn't be with her today. So again, back to that sort of toxic example I said at the start. Someone's only toxic if you're not aligned with the same things. Because what's toxic to one person wouldn't be toxic to another. Someone who's like super hardcore with their religious beliefs would be quite toxic for me. Like, I don't want to be with that person. They're projecting and forcing and controlling and trying to get me to believe these things I don't believe and I'm not into. But that would be quite a healthy relationship for someone else because you want different things. So step 2, just to round out this step. Step 2, do you both have clarity on what you want for your vision, for your relationship? And are you aligned with non-negotiables? I don't recommend having this huge 100 checklist of non-negotiables because that sounds like a trauma response and you're overcompensating, to be honest with you. What I would suggest, I say 3 to 7. You could have more, you could have less, but just genuinely, you could not be with this person if they did not have that alignment. You don't want to date yourself, by the way. Georgia, I joke about this. She's like a hardcore Taylor Swift fan. I couldn't care whether she's into Taylor Swift or not. I barely listen to music. Music is not a non-negotiable for me. I don't really care. But that's what she's into. So non-negotiables. Again, for mine, health, self-development, kids, financial goals, and sexuality, sensuality. Like connection and sex is important to me. I know some people that are asexual. They never want to have sex ever. I'm like, that is not a relationship for me. No right, no wrong. That's not aligned with me. So the question is, to help you do this step, do you have the clarity on your vision? And if it's not written down, you don't have clarity on it. Write it down. Have it written down. And does your partner or potential partner have clarity on theirs? And are you guys aligned? Are you guys actually aligned? Yes or no? And if you're not, it's okay. It's okay because there's other people out there that would be. Work at splitting in a healthy way. Yes, even if there's kids. Yes, even if there's finances. All those things. Because what's the alternative? Stick out with a relationship that's not the right fit for you and be unhappy for the rest of your life? If your kids were in that situation, what would you want your kids to do? I'm not saying this is easy, but it's possible. But that's step 2. Now, step 3 is, do both partners, are they both willing to support and challenge each other towards the vision? I call it the dance. Maximum growth is on the borderline of support and challenge. I'll say that one again. Maximum growth is on the borderline of support and challenge. Support can be being empathetic, being supportive, co-regulating, loving, holding a safe space. And challenge can be accountability, holding your partner to a high standard. And learning the dance of when to do the, quote, right thing at the right time. When your partner's triggered and you get triggered, you're probably going to have a bit of an argument, a bit of a trauma bond. That's okay. I've done content on trauma bonding, by the way. Trauma bonding is not a bad thing. It's actually normal. Show me a single relationship where you haven't been triggered before. Doesn't exist. So every relationship will have triggers, which are revealing trauma. So that's, quote, trauma bonding, where you're going to project each other's shit onto each other. That's normal. I haven't seen a single relationship where that doesn't exist. What do you do afterwards? Do you then both take ownership of your stuff? That's why step one's important. And then do you support and challenge each other to go heal through it? So when triggers come up, do you love each other through the trigger? And then do you help each other go integrate what was causing the trigger, which will be a belief or perception, which is trauma, and then integrate it so the triggers go away? That's the real dance of a relationship. And when you can get to a point where you both have enough awareness and skills to do this consciously, holy, you will grow so much faster, more than anything else. Outside of kids, from what I've heard. I'm not a parent yet. We're about to become parents in early March next year. But from what I've heard, kids are massive mirrors too, and they trigger you too. So I'm looking forward to the growth that comes along with that. But from what I've heard, from what I know to this day, relationships and kids are some of the biggest mirrors to you, because a trigger is revealing something you get to heal and work on. Outside of fight or flight, remember that. Hope that made sense. So those are the 3 steps. And then again, toxic is just someone who's not aligned with you, or you're not aligned with them. You're not aligned with each other for what you both want. Because what's toxic to one person won't be toxic to someone else. I hope that made sense. Any questions, any thoughts, please put it down below. Please subscribe, share it to your partner. If you want your partner to understand the stuff, share it to them. And go do these steps. Do you take ownership? Does your partner take ownership? Do you have your vision? Does your partner have their vision? Are you guys aligned? If not, honestly, look at split up in a healthy way and do it in an amicable way. If you are aligned, then learn how to dance, learn how to love each other, how to support each other, how to heal each other's stuff, how to challenge each other in a healthy way. I teach all of this in my work if you want to work deeper with me. Please, if you want to join me and work with me, I have a free 7-day program and a one-on-one call with me. The link is down below. I appreciate you being here. Grab a copy of my book if it's on Amazon if you want to start with that as well. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Appreciate you. Bye.